Hi, my name's Bob Miller, and this is my 2017 LTV Murphy bed. We're getting ready to go on a trip, and I'm trying out one of my new hobbies, which is making videos of our trips. At the same time, I'm going to try and show you a few of the things we've learned and some of the improvements we've made to our LTV. This is where our LTV lives. Our LTV has never gotten a name other than the van, but this is where the van lives. It's very convenient to have the van at our home. Open up the doors and there the van sits. The van is actually the third motor home that we've owned, but by far the best. First, you'll notice that the van's plugged in. We keep the van plugged in at all times when we're at home. The second thing you might notice is that the van's tires are setting on rubber mats. Those are stall mats that came from Tractor Supply. I have read on the internet that you shouldn't leave your tires setting for any extended period of time on concrete or the dirt for that matter without moving the vehicle. So when we're parked at home, it sets on mats. The windshield looks a little dirty even though it was washed before we put it away. It seems to collect dirt even inside this enclosure. So I'll pull it out, wash off the windshield, and show you around a bit. Well, I've cleaned up the windshield, getting ready to go. And I did that with a long-handled windshield washer that we bought from Walmart, which is there leaning against the van. Let me show you what else I've got in the big container on the end of the van. Inside the big closet, it comes with a Murphy bed. I have a brush that also goes on the end of my long stick. Now, with the brush and the windshield wiper, we can clean off love bugs. And if you're not from Florida and Louisiana, you may not know what love bugs are. But love bugs appear every May and September in Florida and Louisiana and some of the southern parts of Georgia and Alabama, and they will get all over your van and eat the paint off if you don't get them off right away. So if you come to our area during those times of the year, you need to be prepared for love bugs. In addition, you'll see I've got my blocks for leveling down here, although we rarely use them. I got a table, and we rarely use it. Hanging off the hook up here is hoses and extension cord for the electric. And what we do with that is we hook them together using Velcro straps. And very conveniently, the straps will hang off the wall while you're using the cord. It's always right there when you come back to get it. Also inside of here are tools, duct tape, bungee cords, things of that nature that you may need along the way. Also inside of here is a tether for my travel companion Winston. Winston, come here. Hey bud. If you look back here, there is a cable for hooking up to the campground cable services, but we rarely use that. Here lies some dog legs to adjust our power from 30 amp to 50 and from 30 amp down to 15. There's a little tool chest. As I mentioned before, duct tape. some bungee cords, paper towels. Here is my handy hose freshwater extension. I actually use that hose under normal conditions, but sometimes you can't reach it, so I have this handy hose that will allow me an extra 25 foot of extension. Unfortunately, it leaks some, and there are no replacements available any longer. Space is always a problem, and we used to carry a mat that we put out beside the motorhome, but found that it just takes up a lot of space in the LTV. So what I did was I cut out a couple of pieces of that same Tractor Supply stall matting that I mentioned earlier that the tires set on, and I put them here in the doorway. And we simply take them out and put them out at the end of the steps and create ourselves a place to wipe our feet as we're going into the LTV. Back here we have our Blue Ox tow bar, and you'll notice that the cables are all still connected to the van. We leave them hooked up to the van most of the time. I just got to make sure that I remember to remove them if we ever go without the toad. By leaving them hooked up to the van, it makes attaching the toad much faster than it is if you have to hook both sides up. Another space conserving thing that we do is we found these chairs. They're called Pico armchairs, and as you can see, they are a much smaller package than most of the fold-up campground chairs, and yet when they're unfolded they are as big and very comfortable. There's what it looks like folded up, but outside of its carrying case. Very compact. When they're unfolded, they make a very nice chair. Compact and easy to carry in your LTV. The LTV is the first motorhome I've had with a macerator. I almost didn't order it, but I sure am glad I did. You'll notice there's a water hose clamp hooking the end onto the hose. I learned the hard way that you really need that clamp. Well, there's Winston sitting in one of his favorite places in our van. Normally his bed is laying there. I thought I'd take a minute and show you some things that we've done to the cab to make life a little more comfortable. First, you'll notice that there is a Good Sam's GPS stuck to the side of the window over here on the passenger side. It makes it hard for the driver to see, but when you got as good a navigator as I've got, it makes no difference. Here in the center of the console, you'll see there is a cup holder stuck in the slot where it's practically useless unless there is something in it. And in the center, let's see if we can zoom in, and you can see that there is a USB electrical circuit and a cigarette lighter type circuit in the middle of that cup holder. I found a notation of that cup holder on this Facebook page, but the person who was using it had attached it down here in the bottom to the ashtray holder, which I found difficult to use, and I liked it better up there. There have been all kinds of discussions on how to add Sirius radio to your van, and that it just wasn't a feasible thing to do without an expensive upgrade to your GPS, etc. Well, I actually have a low-tech solution to mine. That's a Sirius 7 radio with a car kit. It plugs into the side of our dash up there, and provides Sirius radio through the auxiliary service. No need to change the GPS. Remember, I've got a low-tech change to the GPS. So, we have Sirius radio in our van. Finally, over here in the corner, you'll see our tire monitor tracking system. That tracks the tires on the van as well as the tires on the car and makes sure that we have good service. Now, some of you may have been noticed as I walked up this device sitting in between the two chairs. Before I show you what that device is, I'd like to say that I hope we don't get a big discussion about safety at this location. If you feel compelled to talk about safety, pet safety, then please start another thread to have the conversation. That is the car seat for Winston. So let me show you how it works. First of all, it's sturdy enough and it's down that you can step on it. You can step on it all you wish. The top comes off. You can see that I now have the top off. And there it is, leaning against the driver's seat. Raise up the two ends that are on hinges. It's hard to see the hinges, but we'll get outside and see if we can see the hinges through the driver door or the passenger door. Here we are at the driver door, and maybe you can see that the hinges are up. Put the top back on and it creates a platform. From inside it's there, and you can see that Winston just got up on it and he's checking out a car that just pulled into our driveway. Throw his favorite pillow on the seat and he's got a place to sit and ride. Hey Charlie!
Packing up, are you?
Yeah, we're fixing to leave Monday morning.
Hey, what are you doing, Winston? What are you doing?
I hope you came away with something useful from this video. Happy travels in your LTV.